Allison Mack, the once bright star of Smallville whose portrayal of the plucky Chloe Sullivan captivated a generation, found herself ensnared in one of the most insidious scandals in modern American history, the NXIVM cult, a facade of self-empowerment masking a sordid empire of sex trafficking, forced labor, and psychological manipulation. What began as a search for purpose after a decade on the CW hit morphed into a nightmare of complicity, culminating in Mack's guilty plea and prison stint. At its core, NXIVM wasn't just a self-help seminar series, it was a meticulously engineered pyramid scheme of control, orchestrated by its charismatic founder Keith Raniere, who styled himself Vanguard. Mack's role, as recruiter, enforcer, and high priestess in the clandestine DOS subgroup, exemplifies how charisma can corrupt, turning seekers of enlightenment into unwitting architects of abuse. Post-Smallville, Mack grappled with identity's void. At 28, she'd outgrown Chloe's reporter grit, facing audition's gauntlet and Hollywood's whims. Enter Raniere, introduced via mutual wellness circles in 2010. He positioned NXIVM, pronounced NXIVM, evoking the heartburn pill, as a revolutionary executive success program, blending rational inquiry modules with promises of untapped potential. Seminars, dubbed intensives, charged thousands, luring professionals from actors to heiresses with vows of clarity. Mack, adrift, latched on. Raniere became mentor, guru, savior. "I have a wonderful teacher, who gave me incredible guidance," she told Fine magazine in 2017, crediting him for nudging her toward stage work like Red Velvet at San Diego's Old Globe. Hindsight recast this as grooming. Raniere's wisdom isolated her, fostering dependency through escalating commitments and fees. NXIVM's allure was insidious. Founded in 1998 in Albany, New York, it masqueraded as a multi-level marketing haven, amassing 18,000 enrollees worldwide. Bronfman sisters, Clare and Sarah Edmondson fortunaires, poured millions, bankrolling expansions and legal defenses. Raniere, a self-proclaimed genius with no formal credentials, peddled pseudoscience. Modules dissected limiting beliefs, using explorations that shamed vulnerabilities. Success stories abounded. Actresses like Grace Park joined Vancouver chapters, but cracks emerged. Dropouts whispered of sleep deprivation, calorie-restricted diets, 500 daily for women ostensibly for discipline, and collateral demands, explicit photos or secrets as loyalty bonds. DOS, unveiled in 2015, was NXIVM's dark heart, Dominus Obsequious Sororium, Latin for master over slave women. Pitched as an elite women's society for empowerment, it ensnared 24, including Mack. Recruits, blindfolded to a ceremony, pledged lifelong obedience to a master, surrendering collateral, nude images, financial vows, family confessions, under threat of exposure. Branded with a cauterizing tool, no anesthesia amid cloying chants, this symbol, Raniere's initials in jagged script, scarred hips or torsos. Masters, mostly women like Mack, recruited slaves in chains of command, each owing acts of care. Labor, errands, sexual favors funneled upward to Raniere. He alone enjoyed polygamy. Women, monogamous fidelity to him, per his ethical doctrines favoring male multiplicity. Mack ascended DOS's hierarchy, Raniere's number 2, recruiting via veiled invites, a secret sorority for ambitious women. Victims like Sylvie, a British actress, endured starvation diets, daily Raniere readings, and coerced seductions. Mack enforced with fervor, texting reminders, collecting collateral, even spearheading branding sessions where screams pierced yoni, Sanskrit for womb, invocations. Her zeal stemmed from indoctrination. Raniere's modules reframed abuse as growth, dissent as sabotage. Mack viewed DOS as sisterhood, blind to the pyramid's apex. Raniere's harem, serviced on command, isolated from outsiders. The facade crumbled in 2017, ignited by Frank Report blogger Frank Perlato's exposés. A former NXIVM foe, Perlato detailed branded slaves, prompting defections. Sarah Edmondson, Vancouver chapter head, revealed her branding trauma. Catherine Oxenberg's daughter India escaped after years as Mack's slave, starved to 500 calories, commanded to seduce Raniere. India handed over sex tapes, family secrets, locked in by fear. Their testimonies fueled federal probes. In 2018, Raniere fled Mexico, arrested at a luxury villa with India Klein, another Smallville alum. Indictments painted NXIVM as a racketeering enterprise. Sex trafficking, forced labor, wire fraud. Raniere, 58 at trial, faced life. Mack, 36, racketeering conspiracy. Evidence, texts, videos showed coercion, Slaves recruited under duress, branded without consent, funnel $100,000 in fees. Raniere's defense? Consensual exploration. But victims testified. Psychological tethering, collateral sword of Damocles. Mack flipped in April 2019, pleading to racketeering and extortion, vowing reformation. Sentenced to 3 years in 2021 of 17 possible, she wept, "I threw myself into Keith Raniere, the biggest mistake of my life." Released early in 2023, she married Nick Ruiz, embarking on redemption via the podcast Allison after NXIVM, probing influences Grays. Raniere's 2020 conviction, sex trafficking, racketeering, netted 120 years. A horror story, prosecutors deemed his reign, exploiting emotional voids for gratification. Co-defendants fell: Clare Bronfman, 3 years for fraud; Lauren Salzman, 42 months for lying. NXIVM's downfall exposed cult mechanics. Love bombing, isolation, escalating asks. Raniere's vanguard myth, triple IQ prodigy, crumbled under scrutiny, his inventions, plagiarized pseudopsychology. Mack's arc haunts. From Chloe's truth-seeking to DOS enforcer, she embodied recruitment's peril, victims becoming victimizers. Her memoir Scarred, co-authored with Edmondson, dissects regret. I believed in a twisted man. Post-prison, therapy and amends define her. The podcast, premiering November 10th, unpacks accountability, redemption's thorniness. NXIVM's legacy warns. Self-help's veneer hides predators. Victims like Nicole, fleeing after 2 years servitude, reclaim voices via seduced docuseries. Parlato's reporting, credited for indictments, underscores journalism's bite. As Mack navigates freedom, her story, Smallville's heroine turned cautionary tale, urges vigilance. Mentorship's light can cast long shadows, but truth's blade cuts deepest, freeing the ensnared.